You know what? Sometimes you try and your body cannot go, right? That's my frustration. Maybe I can figure out Crawford, but my body cannot go anymore. So I try it, but my body just not let me go.
Canelo looked a little bit mentally tired too.
How so?
I think he looked a little bit tired. Like, I could just tell when a fighter looks a little bit tired, like mentally.
Yeah,
You could tell he had a tough camp. Sometimes sparring all those hard people is not good at that age. You just need people who's going to give you a good look. Sometimes you can leave it all in the gym. You know, Crawford looked like he had a great camp. He was fresh. His mind was fresh. Everything was sharp. Everything was clicking. And I know how it can be sometimes when it feels like sometimes you're in the gym, you all that hard sparring, you're a little bit gun shy. Now you're not confident. He looked a little bit tired, mentally tired.
Yeah, he had been sparring with Jaron Ennis. Like, were you aware of that?
Yeah, I saw it on the internet. Yeah, I saw that. But he's been really active too. Remember, I think I just saw somebody post something. He had 11 fights in 4 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And you talk about high level fights, undefeated guys.
He seemed really frustrated in there at certain points in the fight also.
Yeah, for sure. I just think he was a little bit mentally tired. And when you're mentally tired, your brain is not sharp. Like, it's just not all the way there. Like, you throw one punch, next thing you get hit with 3 punches, like, damn. But usually you sharp, you feel me? You can make that adjustment after you throw a punch, get your defense right. But sometimes when your brain is not clear, it's not sharp. You know, it's hard to get away from punches.
Canelo Alvarez might have just hit the end of the road. After years of dominating boxing, after being called the face of the sport, and after making hundreds of millions in the ring, Canelo's aura has cracked. His shocking loss to Terence Crawford didn't just hand him another L on the record. It exposed something deeper, that maybe, just maybe, Canelo Alvarez's time at the top is over. His recent performances have been dull. His body doesn't respond the way it used to, and fans are starting to ask the unthinkable. Is this the end of Canelo Alvarez forever? Let's break it down.
We knew Crawford is a great fighter, and I did what I supposed to do, right? I tried for every way, and I trained really hard, and he deserved all the credit. No, I try my best tonight, and I just cannot figure out the style.
Was it something specific, the movement or his speed or power, or what? Was there something you could put your finger on that gave you the most trouble?
Everything.
Okay.
He have everything.
And just one more, Canelo, it has been, I can't even know the number of years it's been since you've been without a world title. Even after you lost to Dimitri Bivol, you still were the super middleweight champion. It's been probably 10 years or whatever since you haven't had a title. Has it sunk in yet that for the first time in all that time, you're not a world champion?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Just that it's been so many years since you have not been a world champion. And so has it sunk in yet that for the first time in forever, you're not a world champion?
No, I feel a champion, no matter what. You know, I win no matter what, and I still feel a champion. So it is what it is. You need to take the loss and accept everything. But I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna continue to do it.
The fight that shook the world. Going into the Crawford fight, everyone knew size was supposed to be Canelo's advantage. He's a natural 168-pounder. Crawford was moving up 2 divisions. Logic said the bigger, stronger man would control the night. But instead, the opposite happened.
Canelo, he has mastered his style. Now, typically, Latinos, they got their own style versus melanated black people. Having like more rhythm, more flashiness and panache to their stuff, more swag.
Yeah.
We just fight different than other ethnicities. If you want to throw Amir Khan in there, his ethnicity, he was in and out.
Yeah, that's the European kind of style.
Textbook, you know, but that was his style. Canelo got his style and he mastered it. Terence Crawford Cannot take nothing away from him. He's like freakishly good, you know. He go both sides, southpaw, orthodox, you know. And I feel like he adapt well. But it don't take much to get hit, especially these little 8-ounce gloves.
Mm-hmm.
He cannot slip up. He cannot slip up. He gonna have to stay set from bing to bing from round 1 to 12, and he better be in shape.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like not 12-round shape. I'm talking about like 16-round shape.
Crawford outboxed him, outsmarted him, outworked him. Canelo kept pressing forward, hunting for that big body shot, but he looked slow, predictable, and flat-footed. Crawford circled him, pot-shotted him, and made Canelo look ordinary. By the end of 12 rounds, the scorecards told the story. Crawford had clearly won, and Canelo's aura of invincibility at super middleweight was gone.
God, it makes me horny.
Yeah, baby.
To tell you I told you so.
I told you.
I predicted the Canelo Crawford fight like a goddamn fortune teller.
You're the Oracle?
Canelo's feet were cemented on the canvas as he was hitting air. What the was that? Props to Crawford.
Thank you.
He came up 3 weight classes and fought a beautiful fight.
Good job.
What a great performance.
Did you get what you was looking for?
Like taking candy from a baby.
My candy.
He just played with Canelo, made him look silly. And before you start with your about Canelo being old, just know that Crawford is older.
I'm too old.
That's not an excuse here. Look, I promoted Canelo's entire career,
Put some respect on it.
and it was a huge flop.
How do you like them apples?
The only real fighters he's faced were Mayweather, Bivol, and Crawford, and they all toyed with him.
This wasn't just a loss. It was the moment fans realized Canelo might not be the same fighter anymore. If we're being honest, the signs of decline were already there. Against Dimitri Bivol, Canelo looked stuck in quicksand. He couldn't pull the trigger. He landed shots, sure, but there was no explosiveness.
It was. It's not interesting to see the fight when one person doesn't want to win at all. But it was hard to fight for Canelo because he was always aiming, and even the skull didn't throw punches, and it's hard to catch him. You know, he's just moving, but his movement is good, to be honest.
Yeah.
Against William Skull, he won, but fans described the fight as boring and uninspired.
It was absolutely crap, load of rubbish. The fight really was a waste of time. If you haven't watched it, don't watch it, because there's better things you can be doing, like probably watching the grass grow or watching some paint dry maybe. But that fight was a total waste of time. Watching that as a former unified super middleweight world boxing champion and Hall of Famer, I was thinking to myself, what an opportunity you've got there. If I was fighting still 10 years ago, if that opportunity came up for me, I know Canelo Alvarez is going to be a tough fight for anybody. I know it's a long ask trying to beat a guy like that, but come on. If I'm in there with Canelo for whatever amount of money, there's going to come a point where I'm saying, right, I'm going for it now. Probably around 3 or 4, I'm going to stick it on him and have a go. To be given an opportunity like that, Skull, defending his IBF title and potentially becoming undisputed, to go in there and just perform like that, for me, it's not acceptable. And I think in my day and with my mindset and the way I used to fight, I'd have gone for it. Just gone for it, and then give the fans, give the boxing fans, and do myself and my trainer proud.
Even his stoppage win over Caleb Plant felt more like grinding someone down than the dynamic Canelo who used to slice through opponents. And against Crawford, it all caught up.
He didn't even try. The thing is that what we've seen with, he's Mexican. What we've seen with Mexican fighters like Chavez, who was having a hard time against Mayweather. Chavez, who was having a hard time against Meldrick Taylor. But he kept going, he kept trying and, missing, getting hit, whatever, but he kept going, cutting the ring. He had that mentality, that heart of a warrior. Barrera did it a few times. Morales did it a few times. Just to mention those. Marquez coming from behind, or a very close, tough fight against Pitbull, Diaz, Juan, what do they call him?
Baby Bull.
The Baby Bull. I said Pitbull. Baby Bull. But, never gave up, kept going, kept doing it. That's what Canelo missed, man. even if he would have lost, but never changed the game plan, never tried anything different, always kept the same rhythm, even though he was losing, still looking for that left to the body with no, from far, opening up, keeping his chin up. He's never been in those situations, so maybe that hurt him.
The reflexes aren't sharp, the head movement isn't slick, the footwork looks heavy. He's become a seek and destroy fighter because that's all his body lets him do now. And at 35 years old, with nearly 65 pro fights, the wear and tear is undeniable. 35 isn't ancient in boxing. Guys like Bernard Hopkins and Manny Pacquiao fought into their 40 seconds. But here's the difference. Canelo turned pro at 15. That means he's been fighting professionally for 20 years. 20 years of wars, 20 years of training camps, 20 years of body-punishing fights.
I say Canelo has more mileage because Bud is 40 and something and 0 now. Canelo was 40 and 0 when he fought Floyd.
Yeah.
Canelo 62, 2 and 1.
All right, you got the record.
Bud is 41 and 0.
Yeah.
So there's mileage there, even though Bud might be older. Can you break down for the people the mileage, how Canelo is older, even though Bud is older?
For sure. I think one of the best analogies that can be used in sports is the comparison to cars.
Even though he's only 35, his fight age is closer to 40 plus. His knees have been rumored to give him problems. His explosiveness is fading. And no matter how much discipline he shows, biology always wins.
Now, if we see a fight where Canelo Alvarez looks old, then guess what? He's old. Right? And it might be a case of him being less than he was. And it'll depend also on how much Crawford takes advantage of it. Let's say Canelo doesn't look great, but we can't say the same about Crawford in this fight.
Fans love to say Canelo is still young, but in fight years, he's an old man. Here's what makes this tough to watch. Canelo doesn't need boxing anymore. He's made hundreds of millions. He's fought the biggest names. He's secured his legacy as one of the greatest Mexican fighters ever. But he keeps fighting because he loves it.
No, you look, if John Ryder beat me, so I'm done, right? But it's not my last fight. I'm going to continue in boxing for a long time.
He's said countless times, no boxing, no life. That love is admirable, but it's also dangerous. Because the longer he stays in the game, the more his body betrays him, and the more fans will remember the version of Canelo who looks slow, tired, and human, instead of the Canelo who dominated the world.
Because if he loses against Crawford, what people gonna say? He lost to a smaller guy. Where's gonna put him amongst all the Mexican, greats? Where's that gonna put him? Oh, he lost to a smaller guy in Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Most skillful guy on the planet. They don't look good, right? So I think this fight is harder on his career than a Benavidez loss. Way harder. Way more to lose. Way more to lose, bro.
Another issue, entertainment value. Canelo fights used to be must-watch events, explosive knockouts, ferocious body shots, masterful head slips and counters. Now, his fights feel dull. Fans noticed it against Ryder, they noticed it against Charlo, and they definitely noticed it against Crawford.
Canelo, Jesus Lord, come on. You're getting paid all this money to fight against a runner who we all knew was going to run, a Cuban style. You chose him, and now you say you hate fighting runners? Well then, don't fight runners. We all know who we want to see you in against. That's Benavidez. Go up against Benavidez. Fight Benavidez, he won't run. What's wrong with that? It's a good fight. But it's sad. It really is.
Instead of fireworks, we're getting 12 rounds of slow pressure, with Canelo looking more like a grinder than a superstar. And boxing, let's be real, is an entertainment business. If Canelo's fights aren't exciting anymore, the demand starts to slip. This isn't the first time we've seen this story. Muhammad Ali fought too long. Roy Jones Jr. fought too long. Manny Pacquiao fought too long. Every legend struggles with the same question. When is it time to stop?
Saw you before the fight, the Crawford-Canelo fight, and you had a Cavs hat on. This time you've got a GOAT hat on. Is that how you're feeling? I know it says Muhammad Ali, but is that how you're feeling about Bud's performance, about his whole career?
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that way, man. GOAT. Greatest of all time, man. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to his coaches, not just me, Saul Red, Bernie, Chet, nutritionists. Everybody played a part.
Canelo said he's way better than Mayweather. What do you think to that?
Who, Terrence?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Of course he is.
Canelo is at that crossroads now. Does he keep fighting because of love, or does he step away before the decline overshadows the legacy? Tyson Fury said it best about older fighters. The hardest opponent you'll ever face is Father Time, and Father Time is undefeated.
My problem with Canelo is his intensity. He doesn't have the same intensity that he used to have, and I think that's going to be the biggest issue for me. Can he still counterpunch? Yes. Can he still be slick? Yes. But does he have the energy and the intensity that he used to have when he was younger, or even when he fought Caleb Plant, to be honest? That
was his last great performance.
Last great performance. So for me, it's like, is he going to be able to have that second, third, effort? Because that's the problem what he has. When Bivol gave him like 3 extra movements and 3 extra shots, Canelo ended up doing weird defensive moves that got him out of position. I'm like, what's going on here?
It was like the Ryan shoulder roll.
No, but that's better.
The Ryan roll.
No, that was good, man. I beat up Duarte with
When
that.
he does it, it's good.
Yeah, come on now.
It's a different
I
thing.
asked Floyd. Floyd said that he had no problem with it. So
You look like Floyd doing that, though.
and thank you.
Just a little
I don't want to hear you talk. You can't fight for nothing.
Oh, there it goes. There it
That's the
goes.
truth.
Canelo losing to Crawford hit harder than any other loss. Losing to Bivol was one thing. A bigger, younger, natural light heavyweight. Fans could excuse it. But losing to Crawford, a smaller man moving up 2 divisions, exposed the truth. Canelo is no longer the big bad wolf. He's vulnerable, he's beatable, and he doesn't scare opponents anymore. That changes everything for his future fights. Opponents who once feared him now see opportunity. Boxing pundits have started to say the quiet part out loud. Max Kellerman called Canelo's recent performances flat. Andre Ward said Crawford exposed his limitations. Even Oscar De La Hoya, his former promoter, has thrown shade. And fans, they're split. Some still say Canelo has plenty left. Others believe he's finished at the elite level. The narrative has shifted from Canelo is unbeatable to is Canelo washed? So what's next? Sure, Canelo could still make mega fights. A rematch with Bivol, a trilogy with GGG, maybe even a comeback attempt against Crawford. But here's the issue. Does anyone believe he can win those fights anymore? He's no longer the favorite. He's the underdog. And that's something we never thought we'd say about Canelo Alvarez. Here's the silver lining. Even if Canelo never wins another fight, his legacy is secure. 4-weight world champion, undisputed at super middleweight, one of the highest paid athletes in sports history. But legacies are fragile. Fans don't just remember the peaks, they remember the declines. They remember the sad endings.
I would like to see Canelo retire too. I don't think he will though. He's got a multi-fight deal with Turkey Al-Sheikh. It's a lot of money on the table, and he's a proud champion. So I could understand him not wanting to end on that note. But you can see Canelo getting older, and I'm not just talking about ring. I mean, you can see it in his face. For the Netflix special behind the scenes, you kind of see the age, you see the wear and tear. The man has been fighting as a professional since he was 15 years old.
20 years.
He's got over, it's a long time to be getting hit with 8-ounce and 10-ounce gloves, even if you take it well. And oftentimes the guys that take it well, they show it more because I'm absorbing a lot of shots and you giving me praise for absorbing them shots, but them shots take a toll. I don't know how much longer he should keep fighting, and it's not because he can't fight anymore. He's still one of the best fighters in the world, but you get into the hunger conversation. You get into the total punishment that you got to add that stuff up when you start getting older. Like, okay, man, do I still need to do this? He doesn't need to do it other than just his love for it, because his mantra is no boxing, no life. So I don't know if he's going to be able to walk away right now. His legacy is secure. I think he's one of the greatest Mexican fighters that has ever done it. I think he's in the great category and conversation. We can break down a resume another day, but I think that given the way that he fought and given the way that he bowed out, I think you just got to just leave it right there and give him his respect. I would like to see him maybe take 1 or 2 more and call it a day, go enjoy the fruits of his labor.
If Canelo keeps fighting and keeps losing, the narrative could shift from one of the greatest to another legend who stayed too long. And that's why so many fans are saying this might be the end of Canelo Alvarez forever. Canelo's fan base is massive. Mexicans treat him like royalty, but his relationship with fans has always been love-hate. Critics say he cherry-picked fights. Others accuse him of ducking certain opponents. And now, with dull performances, some fans feel he's hurting his own reputation.
We've always loved Canelo.
Right, he's the
Come on.
greatest
He's the
thing.
greatest thing.
He's the
since
greatest
sliced
thing
bread.
since-
Canelo, you did amazing. You know what I mean? I take my hat off to him. You know what I mean? You're one of the greatest fighters that came out of Mexico, and animal. Courage. Keep your courage up. You know what I mean? God bless you.
At the same time, his diehards refuse to accept the decline. They'll back him no matter what. That polarization is why his story is so fascinating. Even in decline, Canelo Alvarez keeps us talking. If this really is the end, who takes his spot? Some say Terence Crawford, after beating him, has already stolen the crown. Others point to Gervonta Davis, Shakur Stevenson, or even rising Mexican star David Benavidez.
Canelo couldn't really keep up with him. He was too fast. His footwork was too good.
Do you think the scores was right on, or do you think maybe it was a little more towards Bud?
What was the scorecards?
115, 113, 116, 112.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah?
I feel like Bud damn near basically won every round, so
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about right. You can say that.
Now, with this accomplishment, Keyshawn, is he on the Mount Rushmore of
Hell
boxers?
yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah?
3-time undisputed. He just beat Canelo.
Yeah.
The face of boxing. So now you can say Bud is the face of boxing.
Greatest of all time, or?
Greatest of all time.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it can never be one great, but he definitely one of the greatest of all time for sure.
But here's the truth. Boxing will move on. It always does. The question is whether Canelo moves on with dignity or if he keeps fighting until the sport moves past him. So here we are. Canelo Alvarez, once the face of boxing, now looks like a fighter in decline. His loss to Crawford, his dull performances, his aging body, they all tell the same story. He loves boxing, but his body can't keep up.
Get a new trainer. I can't advise him on retiring or staying in boxing. That's a very personal decision. But I can say, hey, get a new trainer. You'll do better. A new trainer will teach you different tricks. Will imagine him getting one of the best trainers out there in the world, like a Ronnie Shields, who's gonna teach you footwork, who's gonna teach you speed and movement and not be so heavy on your feet. So imagine with his power and with his reflexes, he still has a chance to fight several more fights with the elites, but he needs a new trainer.
This might be the end of Canelo Alvarez forever. But what do you think? Is Canelo truly finished, or does he have one more big run left in him? Should he retire now and protect his legacy, or keep fighting because the love for the sport is still burning? Drop your thoughts below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Fight Field. I'll catch you in the next video.